Alrighty then. Back again, looking like a straight up burglar, huh? Got the turtleneck and the black hoodie, looking straight thievish. Anyways, guys, back tonight to do a little Bitcoin update and kind of wanted to fill you in on where I'm at. So I'm trading four accounts, and I've been doing this for a while. So I've been trading this account. All these accounts started out with, I believe, about 10 or 12,000 bucks. And so this has been just like a kind of a mock trading account following Daniel's. This is a spot order following Daniel's calls specifically, but not just like copycat trading, not like, oh, I'm going long or this. I have to really go and I have to see it. And if I see it and it looks right and it agrees with me, then I'll take the trade. And then I'm trading another account here on MEXC, and this is my own calls. Now, it can be a little bit different when you're listening to information that's kind of guiding you in. But so a lot of times when I'm listening to a trade from Daniel, it'll be very reserved. He's very careful about when he tells people he's in. Um, and he'll say things like, I'm taking it, not a risky trade, but I forget the word he uses for it, but basically it's risky, meaning like it's not quite ready yet. I think that maybe sometimes he might take that trade, but because there's a greater community involved and there's people that are playing with money, um, he's very careful on what he says. So we've gotten this account from 10,000 to 18,148, and we've gotten this account to 28,639. No big surprise. So just know that when I say I'm going to be taking a trade, that my money is where my mouth is. Today we're going to go through price action a little bit, just something for like the higher time frame person, right? This channel is aimed to create something what I always needed. I want to give and become what I always needed. And what I always needed was somebody to give me live updates. I'm at work a lot of the time, and I know a lot of you guys are at work. You don't have the luxury of sitting in front of a computer and looking at order flow. And then a lot of times when you do that, you make a lot of mistakes. So a lot of what we're doing here is we are serving up the levels so you can set the alerts. And once the alert goes off, you can either tune into the Discord and get just an update on how the order flow looks, what it looks like, if it's a confirmed trade, right? Planning, waiting, and then executing. And when you're executing, you're waiting for that confirmation. So there's going to be a lot of stuff here, and hopefully I can guide through. And if you have any questions, leave a comment. But if we just kind of zoom out here, right? And let's just look at Bitcoin on just the higher time frame, right? How's it going? Let's look at this in a little bit of an easier, little bit easier on the eyes, huh? So let's look at it here, right? So as we can see here, right, we had a nice just FTX chop, and then we came on up, boom, impulse, and a nice big correction, downward channel, impulse. Then we had a nice flat correction. Then we dipped down low. We never really came down for that big support resistance test, but then we came up for this, what could have possibly been our fifth wave. We saw a nice flat correction, and now here we are seeing a big, deep correction where we're starting to kind of backtrack on previous impulses, previous, areas of consolidation. So that is the outlook. So if you're a high time frame trader, right, you're just the average person saying, hey, Brian, do I buy Bitcoin or not? I bought some spot. It's not looking too good. Well, you just want to get out your fixed range volume tool and really just look at this entire uptrend, right? We can start here from the low, right? And then we can come on up here to the high, and we can get an idea of where we're at in the auction process. So as you can see here, if we look at this from kind of what I've heard it referred to as a global range, you can see that we're in kind of an interesting zone here because we're starting to get back into the value area of this entire uptrend. So two things I've learned about value areas is we we either got to get out really quickly or we are going to rotate down and we're going to start to look at some of these previous areas of high volume, right? So 66,000, maybe kind of up here. So 69, 70 to 66. If we do take the turn, that's where I'll be looking at really getting into some heavy spot, just simply because historically, and I mean, you can see it visually. Stop looking around on Twitter for people. What's this guy saying? What is the 10-year this and that? I mean, just look at the volume. Just look and say historically, right here, this is where a lot of people got in the game, right? Luckily, we put this heavy volume up here, so we know that, I mean, these are proven levels. We can see here we've got a big area down here. Do we go to 27,000? I mean, I don't know. Do we go to 43,000? I don't know. Do we go to 67,000 or maybe 70,000? I don't know. But I know this, that those areas are on the table. One thing you got to know about Bitcoin is you are either at the table or you are on the menu. So it is very important that you know these areas and you're ready for them, right? When that price action starts to come down, 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 and you start to panic, and then you're selling off, you are causing the reaction, right? You are becoming like, don't trade when you're unsure. You're not feeding your account, you're feeding your fear. Don't feed that beast. Feed the beast of certainty, right? Let it prove itself to you. There's no, just because Bitcoin's going down doesn't mean that it's a good time to buy, right? It's a good time to buy when you see that it can prove itself to you. Maybe you come on down here, you see that bounce off of that, and then you put in a change of market structure. The market it's simply that. When price is going down, price will continue to go down until it finds a bottom, and it might declare its bottom, and then it might change structure and start going up. It's just like anything else. It's just like housing prices. It's just like, I mean, anything you can think of. So we've got two very important areas that we're looking at. First off, we have this big area of consolidation here, right? No matter how you want to look at it, that's a range. So we got to look at it. We'd say here, arguably the range started right there and to current price action. Now, as you can see, from a higher time frame perspective, we have this value area high and this value area low, which are right on top of each other. And where is price? Price is right in between. I mean, it's right in between. So for me personally, I'm really not interested in trading that much these days. It's the end of the year. It's Christmas. I got a lot going on. You guys probably got a lot going on. And I'll tell you that the bigger trader right now is, I mean, historically, I've found that it's low volume around the end of the year. People are thinking about taxes. People don't want to get any big positions because they've already submitted all their tax stuff. And really, it's just a pain in the ass. They've already made their money for the year. The rich people are sitting on their yachts. It is just not really the best time to get into a huge trade. Now, could we see big moves on Bitcoin? Could we see big moves in the stock market? Absolutely. We can see low volume, big moves. But for me, it is much better and much easier to trade with the larger trader. So for me, waiting 2 weeks into the new year, letting all this Christmas stuff pass, letting all the holiday stuff pass is not really a big deal. I'm not in a rush to trade. I'm not in a rush to get rich. I am in a patience mode to get wealthy. There's a difference of earning it and being patient. So high time frame outlook, quite simply, there it is, right? I'm going to do something real quick here. I'm going to see if I can get my, how come I can't get my, bear with me here real quick. Caden's probably laughing at me right now. Okay, yeah, there it is. There's my little tool chest. And then bring this back up. Okay, yeah, now I've got my stuff. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. And from there, let's look at some of the bigger markets, right? Let's go here and let's look at the ES. Now, the ES, I mean, this thing only goes up. And one thing that I will note here, I'm going to go back to the candle structures here. Candles. So one thing that I will notice here, I'm going to come down here to the ES on the 30. And we did have this lowest pivot right here from 65.45, anchored a VWAP right there. And as you can see, we have found some support. Talked about that a little bit on the video that I had today. And I said, you know, this would be a nice area for the ES to find some support. And we know that Bitcoin mirrors the legacy markets. And we have also on Bitcoin found a bottom. Now, if we lost this level, where are we going next? All right, get it out of our fixed range volume. And I'd say that, you know, we do have some single prints here, not really much chop, but I'd say I'm just a matter of opinion. I'm thinking it would be a big drop, right? I think it would be a big drop. What do we have in the cards for the week? As far as news, is there any big market news here? So I'm seeing here tomorrow, ADP, unemployment, that's a market mover. Core retail sales, non-farm employment changes, retail sales, unemployment rate. So tomorrow we do have some market movers. This is going to be 7:30 a.m., an hour after the market opens. So typically when we see these moves, these news an hour after the market opens, possibly a slow start, maybe some chop. We had some typical Monday behavior today, like we went up and then sharp move to the downside. Wednesday, I'm seeing some FOMC members here that really, I hear about these people. They're not really the ones that matter. And then Thursday, unemployment claims, CPI year over year, Philly Fed manufacturing index. It's got a nice ring to it, but I don't think it's a big market mover. And then ending the week here with consumer sentiment, existing home sales, right? This is going to be a big one, right? Someone else's debt is another person's income, and home sales can be a market mover. So this week we do have some movers and some shakers in the news. This could be pretty big. Other than that, ES found some support. We could get some good news tomorrow and see a nice pump. And in the meantime, we are going to look at Bitcoin on the high time frame, and just actually first, let's just kind of look and review our price action, right? Let's review context. What are we looking at when we review context? We're looking at where price is moving away from, right? What happened since the last time we were at the chart? Is there any tells? Is there any patterns? Is there any CVD divergences? Can we get a clue on kind of an advance on the competition, see what the bigger trader is doing, and see if the market is snitching on itself in any kind of way? So as you can see here, previously, we did have this nice little parallel channel. And this channel is still being respected as far as we are facing that resistance. If we did get acceptance into this channel, right, back up to the point of control, I'd say it'd be high time for a nice move to the upside. I'm going to come on out here to the 4 hour so I can actually, and then I'm going to bring in my little local range here, right? So we're fighting two things. We're fighting a value area low, and we're fighting that channel right here at this point. So I'd say that if we did get over here with a nice explosive move, we would be followed up by a nice big move. Because at the end of the day, this is a failed auction, right? We come down, we trade below the value area, we trap a bunch of people, right? But always remember, the market is either generating liquidity or it is accessing liquidity, whether that's up or whether that's down. The market is either creating some liquidity for itself by going sideways, or it is seeking value. It is seeking some balance. So that's where we're at. We're kind of on the micro, exactly where we're at on the macro, right? We got our nice little higher highs and higher lows, and we still are respecting that, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low. And we've got higher high, higher high, higher high. So either here, we're either going to get back in and put in a higher high, or we are going to seek out some lows. Got to have it, right? Because the market is always going to seek out that liquidity. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with it, right? We've got the greater value area low here, but that's not really going to matter. I'd say that right now we're fighting this. This is our big hurdle right now. So from there, where do we start? Well, we're always going to start with our high time frame horizontals. Horizontal levels are going to be the biggest in the game that you are going to use on the regular. Let's go here and let's bring out our weekly horizontals. Let's introduce these weeklies here. Bam. And we've got a nice weekly here. Unlock. Right there, we kind of front ran that a little bit. That's it for weeklies. Let's go see here what we got on the daily perspective. This daily's tap. We're going to move this daily up here. Boom. Got a nice daily there. Daily there's tapped. And then this daily is gone. Let's get that out of there. So down here, we do have some nice support. 78,000 weekly level, which is a nice liquidity level, right? I could see us coming down here, taking out these lows, and then tapping that weekly support. I mean, makes sense, right? Come down here, fake out weekly support, bam, and possibly on our way to higher highs. But either way, that's the case. That would be of kind of a nice, I don't really know if it would be considered a swing trade, right? Because the market is telling us it's just down, right? I was having a discussion today with Cade, and he was talking about indicators. And I told him, just get them all off your chart. If you can't look at the market and really, you have to train your eyes to see the story that the market is telling you. And I'm not saying I'm an expert in this in any way, but when you have an indicator, you're switching off your brain and you're saying, let the indicator do the work. Let the indicator take over. I don't want my eyes to do any work. I don't want my brain to do any work. The indicator is just going to print a green dot. And whenever it does that, then that's when I'll buy. Stay away from that. Stay away from that. This is the reason why AI and all this stuff is not really going to take over trading, because there's always going to be humans involved that are going to be doing stupid stuff or making dumb mistakes or relying on some indicator. And the bigger traders know this. One thing that I've learned in years of trading is that the bigger trader needs time to make positions that move the market. And when they make those positions, they tell on themselves. There's some kind of tell. There's some kind of self-snitching. And when you look at it and look for it every single day, it gets easier to spot it. So that's it for our high time frame levels. Let's bring up ATAS here and let's look at some. I love this template. Shout out to Daniel for creating this template. This thing is just like all in one shot. Let's see what we got here as far as our high time frame MPOCs, and I'm going to write down some notes here. All right, so dailies, we've got 89.5. We've got 92.375. And then we've got 82,000 beneath us. Current daily profile is right here. You can see that we are building value below previous day's value. So we might open up the day outside of value. All right, let's go here and let's look at our weekly. Weekly naked point of control right there, 90,180. And then down here at 77,250. These are good if you want to set these up. You're going to be working off of the Bybit chart. Let's look at the monthly POC. Monthly naked POC still up there at 113. Let's see if this is 96,000. It's about 101. So it gets thicker on 101. We are still finding support here at this naked monthly point of control, right? We did bounce off of that last week. Now, let's look at our daily profiles, right? So yesterday, classic double distribution. Started out the day here. Let's see where the daily open was, right? And our open was here, right? We ended up coming up to the upside for the A session, and then B, and then C, D. We came downside, E, and we ended the day up here. right? Is that right? UV. Okay, yeah. Uppercase is the beginning of the day. So yeah, we started out the day at the top and we ended the day at the bottom. This double distribution, this big uppercase B is typical, right? You come on up, you range sideways, you lose the level, you come on down. Now be aware that we do have some single prints here at 87,300. So if we did come up there, we would look to act as resistance. Actually, let me kind of zoom out a little bit and see if, yeah. So if we did have a move to the upside, we would look for a little 87,000 resistance action. As you can see here, we do have some unfinished business at the lows and unfinished business at the highs, but this is today's profile, so we could clean this up. Unfinished business, just in case you're looking, I love this term, is right here, which is kind of when you have these boxy tops. You don't see a nice wick where the bigger trader got involved, just that buying or selling tail. When you've got these flat tops, that is some unfinished business. Typical sign of some liquidity in the market. All right. So now let's look at our 30-minute chart on this sideways action. And immediately what I'm seeing is, what do you see? You tell me, what do you see? I love this chart because really it gives you an indication of where we're going to go next. So you can see here we have a low and we have a low. We have a higher low and we have a lower low on CVD. So those aggressive sellers are selling off in the market. Now, you do have a lower low on a decrease of open interest, right? So that means that positions are clearing, right? People are exiting those positions or these longs here, right? Because you can see here some open interest increases with some positive delta. So those longs are probably getting flushed out or closing out, whatever. Just that open interest is leaving the market. The best thing you want to see is you want to see at those lows an open interest increase with delta catching people off sides. And then when price gets above that, usually going to see that nice big move to the upside, squeezing those people out. Bitcoin loves to trap traders like this. So I am seeing some bullish divergences, but would I classify this as super strong? Not just yet, because there isn't any trapped traders. As you can see here, look at this. Big open interest increase, negative delta, right? This was up here, but we didn't really trap anyone. We came down to the downside. You didn't see them getting flushed out. So, there's a nice big delta pocket over here with some shorts. And that could very well be, as you can see here, you see a nice big step to the downside as we go up. So this rise up was a weak rise, right? It's very important to know who's moving the market. Why is it going the way it's going? If the market is going up and you see open interest just getting washed out, well, nobody's really buying that. They're buying to cover. They're clearing those positions, and that's what's pushing price up. So plain and simple, let's keep it real simple. Bullish divergences, but weak, no real trap traders. So I would classify this as slightly bullish, but neutral. Now, let's go back to our trading view and let's add it all together. First off, I want to get this off of here and I want to bring in some NPOCs. So I got a little cleaning up to do here. I need to do some housework real quick. Okay, so first off, this 82,000 is, oh yeah, that's still there. And then this 89.50. This naked weekly is tapped. Boop. This naked daily, this 90,180, that is a weekly. And I need to adjust the price on this. All right. And 92,375. Does that look good? What about this? This 85. Yeah, that's tapped. I'm going to double check that real quick. $89.5, $92.3, $82. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And now let's do those weeklies real quick. 90,180. It's gone. Okay. All right. Now, let's kind of just tie it all together. Where is our next big trades? Actually, first, let's go here and let's look at our, those were some last trades from a couple of weeks ago. So this were two zones that I was interested in trading. Full disclosure, I did take a little long here. I'm still in it. I'm not super confident about it. But yeah, I did take a little long here. My validation is below the low. So I could say this. This is about a $200 stop loss. And I would ride that up to that resistance. So just know that if you guys saw that earlier. So what am I looking at, right? So basically what I'm looking at is this. And this, right? Now introduce some high time frame levels. I've got some good chop, some resistance up here. But once, if we did get back into this channel, I would expect for a price to, you know, maybe we do a little something like this, right? Maybe we break up, we bounce off that, we come off here, we do a little bit of that, right? I could see us grinding our way up. Definitely a possibility. And if not, I would say that we probably zoom out a little bit. Sorry, it's a little messy. Probably zoom out a little bit. And if we did lose that level, I would probably hang out to see what happens right about here, right? Previous highs, blast right through, fake out of that low, right? What do we got here as far as if we introduce this, arguably from there, bam, bam, you know, maybe a little something like this, right? Maybe we come low, bounce, fake out this low. That would be nice. Fake out that low. Or maybe we come a little bit deeper there. Let's see if we got any high time frame levels there. So nothing really in a good placement. If there's one thing that I learned from Daniel, it's that you can have confluence, but you got to have confluence in the right spot that makes sense where you can really wreck some people. So I'll be looking to take out these lows. And we've got a nice big point of control here, which makes sense for the fake out, bounce, reclaim up, you know, or, you know, it could very well be bounce, back test, down. So we will see in the morning. But for now, right, tomorrow morning we'll be trading. And for now, I'd say we've got a nice base that we're forming. In this base, we know that we do have some bullish divergences. We could fake out the lows one time, really trap some shorts, and then up we go, right? Back up to that original idea of 96,000, right? 96,000 is a big level to me. That's where my big magnet is. We do have some stuff in the way, but if we did get a reclaim here, I would like to see that nice long and then see how we react at these levels. My first interest would be seeing what the reaction is 90,000, probably take a little profit there. And from there, this daily level is probably super weak. Yeah, well, we've got that. So that 90,000 is going to be a big level for the short, right? Because we do have a naked level on top of a weekly. So if we did come up, the first level that I'd be looking to take profit on this current long that I'm in is going to be right about there. 90,000 on the dot. I'll look to see how we approach that level and what happens when we get there. Did we come up here with strength? Are we seeing some bullish? Are we seeing high volume? When we come up here, do we just bounce, reject, change market structure, come in for a bigger drop? Do we flip it, reclaim, and keep on going up? So just know that currently long, I will be looking at the reaction at these levels, setting alert right there. If I do get past that level, I will be looking up here at this $96,200 level. If that level is lost, I'll be looking for a sweep of the lows. Coming out with some more step-by-step educational stuff on how to use the tools. If you're a little bit confused with that, hope this helps you out. See you guys tomorrow. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever the hell have you. I hope you're doing well. And day in, day out, we're going to be guiding through. Let's make some motherfucking money. Later, guys.